Hey yappers! Welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. Today, Poonim and I are yapping all about Margo's Got Money Troubles, based on the novel by Rufi Thorpe. We yap about what we would do in Margo's situation and some of the differences between the book and the show. Just as a warning, Poonim and my audio kind of switched off sounding low quality today, and we don't really know what went wrong with our microphones. So I'm really sorry our audio isn't as crisp as it usually is, but hopefully you can still make it through the episode. And with that, let's get into it. Our episode starts now. Hey yappers! Welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. I am Shalini.
I'm Poonim.
And Poonim is joining us as a guest today to discuss Margo's Got Money Troubles. Poonim, if you had an OnlyFans account, what would your handle be?
Ooh. I think if we were to follow the same format that Margo has of adjective, noun, I think I'd go with my tried and true genderless slug, because there's nothing that people on OnlyFans want to see more than that.
They hate genders on that platform.
Yeah. Gender is a construct.
I think mine would be something like Sleepy Bear or something. Honestly, hungry is a pretty good descriptor of me. Sleepy is also a pretty good descriptor, so hard to choose.
Hungry, sleepy.
Hungry, sleepy, that's me.
I was gonna say, I thought it might be something to do with beaver, like
Hungry
in
beaver.
college. The women's water polo suits were so cute because our mascot was the beaver, and their little suits had a little beaver tail on the butt, and I thought it was the cutest thing in the world.
That's right, that was really cute. Okay, I don't feel good about my handle being Hungry Beaver. It's just it's a little on the nose. Sleepy Beaver. Okay, so we got Genderless Slug and Sleepy Beaver. Great, excellent. All right. Well, let's get into it. So, Margo's Got Money Troubles is an American comedy drama television series created by David E. Kelley, based on the 2024 novel by Rupi Thorpe. It stars Ellie Fanning, Nick Offerman, Greg Kinnear, Thaddeus Graham, Michael Angarano, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Nicole Kidman. Absolutely stacked cast. The series premiered on Apple TV on April 15th, 2026, and centers on Margo Millett, played by Ellie Fanning, the daughter of a Hooters waitress, Cheyenne, Michelle Pfeiffer, and a former professional wrestler, Jinx, played by Nick Offerman. After becoming pregnant by her English professor, Michael Angarano, Margo turns to OnlyFans to financially support herself with the help of her estranged father, who tried to share his wisdom gleaned from his wrestling days. All right, so Poonim and I have both read the book that is the inspiration for the show. Poonim, how do you think this series compared to the book?
I mean, just like any adaptation, I think the book will always be better. That being said, I thought Apple TV did a really good job of adapting it and just capturing the quirkiness and the, I don't know, unusual nature of this family. I think there were some things that I wish they emphasized more. So I know Margot's creativity in creating the Hungry Ghost account and all this kind of space alien sex stuff, but in the book she does have that literary bug. She's a very creative person, and so you see her how she mulls through these ideas and puts some rigor around the story she's telling on her account and how that evolves, so she gets to use that part of her personality and bring that forward instead of just kind of going over to the other girl's house and being part of whatever kind of shoot that they want to do. I think the only other thing that I wish they did more of was they did a montage of Jinx helping them out, but I kind of wanted a little bit more of that because I think in the book he's so much more involved in the creative process and the design and the stunts, and he kind of becomes part of this, I think in a bigger way, if I recall correctly. So that's a long answer of saying the book was better, TV show did a good job. There are a few things that I wish that they had a little bit more of.
I agree with you that the book was better, or I enjoyed the book better. I think for a few reasons. Well, I guess I'll start with what I think the show got right. So I think the show really correctly captured kind of the chaos of Margot's life, and like the apartment I pictured was exactly right. Her creativity, I actually thought that they did a pretty good job of showing Margot's creativity and her writing skills, and they kind of emphasize like, "Oh my gosh, you're a writer, like, you always wanted to be a writer, and here you are, a writer." And I also thought that they got the determination of Margot as a single mom to provide for her son. I think they captured that really perfectly. I also think her relationship with her dad was done really well, and, like, really kind of just built upon what was done in the book in a really sweet way, and her relationship with Susie. So I thought that was really sweet. I think there were a few differences, and we can go through all of the differences, but I think just from a character standpoint, one of the big differences I caught was her relationship with her mom. And I think in the book, if I remember correctly, her relationship with her mom was a little bit more troubled, and her mom was a lot more abrasive. She was less supportive. She was just shown as a more selfish character that Margot couldn't really rely on, which is why why she was driven to, start an OnlyFans and just look for other options. But in the show, so I thought that was interesting because in the show, it was like, well, she has like a pretty good relationship with her mom. Her mom's with this guy that like seems to be pretty financially stable. Why can't I don't know. There just wasn't as good of an explanation for like why can't she just take her mom and her stepdad's help.
Yeah, I mean, I thought and I think Michelle Pfeiffer is, like, a god amongst men. Exceptional actress. I thought they did a good job of her at the very beginning when Margot tells her that she's pregnant, and she's just like, "I can't do this again." That's like, you know like, I raised you by myself, and you're choosing to do the same thing that I did, and she's like, I just can't do that again." And so I kind of understand from the mom, at least the show mom. I don't exactly remember book mom as much, but I feel like it was the mom would be, like, supportive up to a point, but the mom also very much had, like, boundaries, and so I think they did a good job of portraying her as, like, she loves her daughter very much, and she will go to bat for her daughter, but there's, like, the decision that her daughter made, she's, I think, refusing to let, like, derail her life after already experiencing it. So I think that that's, like, the nuance there that I think they did a good job in the show, and, like, even in the book, I remember being like, "You want to hate the mom, but you can't quite hate the mom because 'cause you're like, I kinda get it. Like, the mom told you this was gonna be this way, and you did not listen."
Actually, that reminds me of another big difference, which was Margot's decision making in having the baby. I feel like in the book, what I got from her thought process in the book was like, Mark doesn't want me to have this baby. My mom doesn't want me to have this baby. But like having a baby, like they don't think I can do it. I can do it. Like that's what a good person does. So like I'm gonna do it. And she kind of does it to like prove the haters wrong, which
Yeah.
it didn't which in the book annoyed me so much. I was like, "Margot, what are you doing? Like, don't you understand that you're gonna end up paying the price for this?" But in the show, I think it showed her, like, really weighing the options, and, it showed her just, like, feeling a connection to this child and, like, kind of going through more of the personal personal decision, and so her decision was a lot more agreeable in the show, I think, and
Yeah.
in the book, it was like her mom was so disapproving, but then she wanted to prove her mom wrong, but then in the show, it was like her mom was disapproving, but, like, she just felt like she had to do it, and and then her mom ended up being, like, a companion to her, later on. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I guess they just wanted to make Margot a little bit more likable from the get-go in the show, which I think was effective.
Yeah, and I mean, she's freshman at Fullerton, so she's what, 18? that girl's prefrontal cortex is not fully formed. So, like, I understand in the book, but for, like, a show, you don't wanna, like, hate the main character right off right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I will say, like, the very first episode where she gets pregnant, she goes through labor, she has the baby, and that, like, montage of just how fucking hard it is, I felt on, like, a visceral level. I don't have kids of my own. I don't really plan on having kids. It's not the future that I want for myself. But I felt her pain, and I was like, anybody who does this is an absolute superhero, even if you have the support of like family and a husband and parents, and she's doing it all by herself. So I thought that the direction they did for that episode, where they just made it so apparent of like it is soul breakingly hard to, raise a baby as like an 18-year-old, 19-year-old,
Living with
in an
roommate.
apartment. Living with roommates, not having a support system, and I'm just like, "Dang, this is why I will always be pro-choice."
And my choice is no.
Yeah, my choice is no thanks.
Okay, if you were in Margot's situation and had a baby, didn't really have a job, what would be your goal in getting a job? Like, what kind of job would you be seeking out?
I think I'm like kind of on the same page with Margo, where it's just like I need to be able to work from home. That is like the number one priority. Because if I don't have dependable childcare, like I can't work anywhere outside. And they showed that in the show. Like she went to that like unemployment office with the baby, and like, which, did you notice the unemployment lady was one of the from one of the couples in Four Seasons? Anne?
Yeah, that's right. I think I recognize her, but I didn't realize what she was from.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that's timely." Because doesn't, like, Four Seasons come back, like, next week or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm like, uh, do I blame her for, like, the OnlyFans? Because it's accessible, anybody can make an account. Again, body is tea. I don't know that I would be comfortable in, like, a post-baby body doing that, but her body, great. Pop off queen. Um Yeah, so I think the number one priority would be, like, working from home, or, like, having, like, flexible hours. So I mean, in a post-COVID world, we all thought that remote working was gonna be here to stay, but I feel like it's getting harder and harder to find that. So, I don't know, maybe I would go down that path and end up on an OnlyFans and try to carve out a niche for myself as a genderless slug, because people love that. I'd have to put some more thought into a more, engaging handle. But,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I like, or something where like, what job could you think of where it's okay to bring your, like, infant to? I can't
Right.
think of anything.
Yeah, except, like, literally running a daycare, but then you're just adding more babies. That
So many
won't
baby, and
work.
don't you have to get, like, I don't know, some certification, and, like, at minimum, you have to be, like, baby CPR certified, and
Right.
probably have, like, a business license. Like, I feel like the steps to doing that, it would have to be, like, a very under the table sort of business. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, cause
I
like,
think Oh, yeah.
what was that show that we watched? The Maid?
Which one?
She
Oh, Maid, with
Maid.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, her daughter was also pretty young, right?
Her daughter was, like, 4 or 5, or, like, yeah, something around there, 3 or 4.
Yeah. So it was like, doesn't need, like, around the clock feedings and everything, so she could go
Yeah.
out and clean homes, but
Yeah,
I don't know, for someone in Margot's situation, I'm like, it has to be something you can do at home.
totally,
Like, the
totally.
only overhead you're paying is the rent, which you have to pay anyways, and internet.
Right.
So,
I don't think I would be opposed to an OnlyFans. I think, though, that I would keep it completely anonymous and like only post feet pics just to get by. I think my main concern is that when I am in a position to get a real job, I don't want this thing to hold me back. And so I think I would just be concerned about like my reputation after I'm in this phase of life. Like personally, I'm not judging, but like I just feel like the world is in a place where there would be a stigma against a former OnlyFans influencer who's like showing nudity and stuff in getting a job at like an office or something. And so in order to protect my opportunity to have a chill, high-paying corporate job in the future, I think I would keep my OnlyFans anonymous. That's my only thought.
Yeah. I think like no face or like identifying. But I'm also super paranoid about like, getting doxxed, and we are both Indian, and what would people say?
Log kya kahenge?
There it is. There it is. But on the other hand, I'm like, if I'm really good at the OnlyFans thing and I am making absolute bank, do I need to get a different job?
True. I
The
don't
market
know.
will always be there. The market will always be there. If I am able to deliver, do I need something else?
Very true. Yeah, if that's all you want to do, go for it. Yeah.
To be clear, I'm not planning on opening an OnlyFans. I do have an Instagram account that I have been struggling to get more than 1,000 followers. So I don't think I'm cut out for this life, unfortunately.
I expect to see a genderless slug OnlyFans account.
I mean, you've even seen on my dog's Instagram, if my foot is in the picture, that's getting blurred out because not for free.
Not for free, but on OnlyFans.
Not for free on OnlyFans for a fee.
For a fee.
Fee for feet. Let's do it.
For feet. Feet for a fee. If you were Margot's roommates and you were studying, would you, yeah, I guess if you were in college and one of your roommates had a baby, would you be moving out or would you be leaning in like Susie did?
I'd be leaning all the way the fuck out. Like, you know me. Be so fucking for real, Shalini. You know me. It's not that like I wouldn't support Margo. I mean, I would probably have a little bit of resentment of like, you made this decision and now we are all paying the price for it. I also just don't have that much patience for kids. And so if I'm suddenly in a house with a kid that's not even mine, I'd be like, bruh, I'm 20 years old. I'm trying to study for finals. I cannot do this. Like, I have to watch, I have to prioritize myself in this situation. I'm sorry. That being said, I wouldn't move out and completely just fuck out of Margot's life because I still value her as a friend. But I'm like, I just need a little bit more like stability for myself and my future. And like, you can blame me for that, but I'd be gone.
I
What about you?
100% agree. 100% agree. I would move out so fast, but I'm also with you that like I wouldn't completely fuck her over and be like, by the way, we're moving out by. I would probably give her at least a 1 month notice and or just like cover at least one more month's rent so that she has time to find someone because
Yeah.
obviously she's struggling. Obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would try to be a
Obviously.
little more considerate of it, but like, I'm not staying.
Yeah.
Susie is an
Yeah.
angel. I could never.
Su- Susie is an absolute angel, and I think that Susie is probably what kept Margot together those first like few weeks. So, I mean, yeah. Susie is another, god amongst men. So,
Yeah.
not me though. I'm out. Good luck with that. I'll see you later.
Okay, if you were Cheyenne and you found out that your 18-year-old daughter was impregnated by her lit professor, what would you do? How would you how would you react to your daughter? Would you take any action against the professor? Like, what would you do?
I feel like I would take action against the professor. I feel like, just like from an ethics standpoint, that's something that you could report to like the school or
Yeah.
something. Like, it just feels very skeezy. I mean, I feel like, listen, we were all 18 once, and sometimes the decision making isn't quite there. So if my daughter slept with the professor, I would be like, listen, we all like to get some attention time to time, but like, this is not it. Like, he's, he's married, he's much older than you. There's a power differential happening here. This isn't, what you think it is. So, I don't know. I think if the daughter decided to keep the baby, I'd kind of be like Cheyenne, where I'm like, I, I didn't sign up to be your default caretaker for the next, 18 years, or, to say even 10 years, especially if I was Cheyenne and had already been through it as a single mother. But I would also not want to see my daughter like flounder. So maybe like financially help until she gets on her feet. But then it's like, you got to get a job. You got to support this child. Like, yeah, I'm not going to not enable the situation, but I'm not going to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I would really try to convince her not to have the kid just because, like, think about everything you're giving up. Like, you're not going to be able to focus on studying. Do you know how important having a college degree is these days? Stuff like that. But then if she did decide to have the kid, I think I would be how my mom was when I decided to get a dog, which is, I would say, I am not going to be the default sitter for this kid. But once the kid is there, I would definitely love it. And like, if she needed help, I would help out.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they're not heartless. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I, I
Totally.
I'm not going to be your default backup. I'm just not.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm 100% with you that I would definitely take action against this professor. I can't believe they didn't pursue that at all. In fact, like Margo just went to him out of desperation, but it was never like, you did this to my daughter. I was just surprised they didn't try to take like legal action or anything, or like get him fired or something.
I mean, I feel like, what means do they have to like hire a lawyer? But I do feel like there could have been some reporting to the institution
Yeah.
and be like,
Because
look,
who
this is a
knows how many other
situation. You've got
girls.
this, yeah, like you've got this man on your staff who's sleeping with the students, which that draws into question, like, maybe it's not illegal because they're not minors, but like, is this a sort of person you want to have representing your institution? The
Yeah,
fine
and I'm sure
institution
it's
of
still
Fullerton.
yes. And I'm sure it's still against the school rules because that's still a power dynamic. If he has the power to determine your grades, like that's a huge power imbalance. And I'm sure he would get fired, and he should, because who knows how many other girls he's doing that to.
Yeah. And like, I don't think Mark was like doing it in like a predatory sort of way. I mean, like intentionally predatory sort of way. I think inherently the power dynamic makes it predatory. But I think he just wanted like college girl puss and no consequences. Oh my
Totally.
God, when they were doing the mediation and he was just like, I have lost everything because of you, like my family and everything. And I was like, hold on. Margo's not the one who said vows to your wife. That was you, dumbass. That was your decision.
You're a fully grown adult. Like, why are you blaming this child for your actions?
Yeah, I'm like, she seduced you with her writing? Be so fucking for real. He's such like a perfect, just like cowardly character, just like a useless fucking creature.
Yes. By the way, did you recognize him from anything?
He's so familiar. I just could not place where he came from.
You might remember him from let me see what year it was. You might remember him from the 2005 hit Sky High.
Girl, I did not watch that. The fuck?
Excuse me?
The original Sky High as God intended.
What's the original Sky High?
Wasn't there like a Disney Channel? Oh
this was the Disney Channel one.
But you said 2025. Sorry.
No, I said 2005.
Oh, yeah, I watched the fuck out of that. That's him.
Okay.
Hold on.
That's him. He's the main character.
Okay, what was the actress? And she was Danielle Panabaker. I was a huge Danielle Panabaker.
Yes. I loved her and her sister. I forgot what something else Panabaker. I don't remember. Anyway, I remember from that movie, the closing line of that movie was like, and that's the story of how my girlfriend became my enemy became my best friend, and my best friend became my girlfriend.
Actually, how do you remember this?
I don't know. It was so memorable. I was like, whoa, that's so interesting.
Shalini's steel trap memory. Okay, yes, I do remember this movie. I did watch it when it came out, and I did love it as a kid. So, sorry, I thought I heard 2025, and I was like, why the fuck would they reboot Sky High?
No need to redo an absolute banger.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's there. Wasn't one character's special power that they could turn into a hamster or something, or a guinea pig?
That sounds familiar.
Right?
Okay, let's get into the other differences between the book and the show.
Okay, to be honest, I read this book maybe about a year ago, so I don't remember all the details, but a glaring one that I remember was the guy that she had met.
Yes, they completely omitted the love interest in the show, and I don't know.
Which I was okay with.
I was actually okay with it too. Yeah, I think it was nice to just have a show completely focus on her struggles as a single mom without introducing a romantic side story. But if you recall, at the end of the last episode, she's back on OnlyFans and someone messages her and is like, I'm a new fan, $750. And the initials on that person's account was JB. And that was the name.
I missed that.
Yes, that was the name of her love interest in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember it was through her account that she met this person. And then it's like it evolves over the course of the book. But I'm glad that they removed it for the show. I agree. I think it would have been too distracting of a storyline. Also, for the quality of this book, the fact that we got 8 like half-hour episodes when this easily could have been like 10 one-hour episodes. Apple TV,
I know.
count your motherfucking days.
We demand a longer season 2.
I need at least 2 to 3 more episodes.
Yeah.
You guys cheated. You guys cheated me.
I think one nice thing about the side story of her relationship with JB was that like all of her haters were like, no man is gonna want you after seeing this account. And I feel like her relationship with JB was a direct contradiction to that statement.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked that they showed that, yeah, like she can still form a deep romantic connection with someone even though she's on this platform. So maybe that's something they explore in season 2. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think just like the whole commentary on what it is to be on OnlyFans, what it is to be, quote unquote, a sex worker, even though she's, not doing porn or anything, is like, I don't know. It's still stigmatized so much. It's like, oh, your worth as a person and as a partner just tanks as soon as you like put yourself out there like this. So I would agree. Maybe they'll do a season 2. There isn't a lot of material to do a season 2 with, but I just liked it so much. I love Elle Fanning. I think she's a great actor.
Yeah, she's amazing. Also, that bitch is so flexible. Did you see her doing
Flexible?
some of those
The
stunts?
body is tea.
Body is
Like,
tea.
we did see a lot of her titties, but like I had watched The Great on Hulu like a few years ago, and I was just like, I mean, I knew the body was tea. Just Huge fan.
Yeah, she was just some of it, like when in that last episode when she was like doing the handstand with her legs like flailing
Yeah.
around, I was like, holy shit, the core strength, the core strength.
Crazy.
Yeah, damn. But yeah, I thought she did a great job. Also, I did not realize that she was Dakota Fanning's sister, which is perhaps obvious now that
It's really neat.
did you yeah, sorry. I just hadn't seen her in anything. So I was like, "Oh, Dakota Fanning has a sister?"
I remember when Dakota Fanning, was it Uptown Girl that came out
Yeah,
like a long time
like when
ago
we
with
were
Dakota
kids.
Fanning?
Yeah.
I remember there was like a picture. I don't know why I remember this. This is why I can't remember like where my keys are. There's a picture of her on like the red carpet premiere with like her little sister. And I was like, oh, she has a little sister. And then as they got older and everything, I think Elle Fanning started booking stuff. And so she got The Great, which is like the Catherine the Great, a very loose adaptation of Catherine the Great. Very loose. Um, but like, I think there's like 4 or 5 seasons of it. It was a very wild show. But I thought she did a great job in it.
Nice. Um, okay, going back to the show. So I think another big difference that I noticed was the court case at the end of the season or at the end of the book. I feel like what we got in the book was that Mark was trying to make this case for full custody, and the same thing happened where like a mystery person called CPS on them and stuff. But then what we got in the book was that her lawyer prepped her really well, and it wasn't like a Nicole Kidman's character was not there in the book. It was just a random lawyer that they had found. It was a man, and he was very methodical about how Margo should state her profession. And he was like, you should emphasize that this is your job, you're making good money, it's not illegal to be a sex worker and have a child. And anytime, and then that it was so effective in mediation that it never went to court. And in mediation, anytime Mark was like, blah, 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 like she's a prostitute, she's like, no, this is my line of work. I make art, I'm a content creator, and this is what I do. And I'm making, so much money, like literally more than you are. And she was so well prepared for the court case that like there was no mom punching Mark's mom. There was no her jumping across the table. Like I feel like they showed her family as so impulsive and rash compared to in the book where
Yeah.
everybody knew what they had to do and they really got shit done and they were successful.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that because I think Jinx is like a much more like he thinks about his actions a little bit more. I mean, obviously the OD is part of the book, and like the relapse and everything, but like he puts in the work at like the methadone clinic, and he's doing all of the stuff that he needs to do, and I think everybody in her camp is like locked in. So yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about that. But in the show, I mean, it is more entertaining television to see Michelle Pfeiffer just absolutely just this
Deck this woman.
bitch woman who
Yeah.
has to have her jaw sewn shut. The dream, decking somebody and they can't say shit after.
So satisfying.
Cheyenne said, "You can catch these motherfucking hands."
I ain't got hands. Okay. Another difference is, let me see. Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of violence by the parents, also in the book, Jinx never hurts Mark. I think he just threatens him. And so
I think
Mark,
so.
yeah, Mark can't be like, this family is riddled with violent people. um, yeah, that was another difference. Let's see. The whole deal between Margo and Mark's parents was very different in the book. So if
Yeah, I do
you
remember that.
recall, yeah, okay. So in the show, what we saw was that the parents offer up $50,000, I think, for a trust for Bodhi, and then in return, Margo has to sign an NDA and like can't contact Mark anymore. In the book, that included a $10,000 lump sum so she could at least kind of like catch her footing. And yeah, I was confused in the show why she didn't ask for more, or like why she didn't ask for anything up front, because I remembered her. I feel like that was a really crucial place for her to get to before she started her OnlyFans account, because it at least like gave her a little bit of financial stability. She could actually afford to bring in her dad into the house and stuff. So yeah, that was an interesting difference, I thought. I guess just to make it
I
a
had
little
a
more dramatic.
Yeah, I guess I had a question. The part where she gets doxxed, did that happen in the book? I don't really remember, cause like, I feel like in the show, they're like, "Oh my god, they know my identity," and then, like, nothing really came of it. I mean, besides, like, it getting to Mark and his family to, like, get the whole lawsuit stuff, but I thought there would have been, like, more, I don't know, consequences of that? I don't know. I just don't remember if it happened in the book or not.
In the book, I think it happened in a similar way where her identity gets exposed, all these people from her, like, childhood and stuff start commenting, and then her that's when her mom finds out. So in the book, what happened was that when she tells her mom initially, her mom's like, "You have to shut this down," and then she tells her mom she does, but she keeps going, and so when her identity gets exposed, that's when her mom realizes that she never actually stopped. And so
Got
that
it,
also
okay.
caused extra conflict between her and her mom. But I don't think there was ever any other consequences to her identity becoming public.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that, like, sort of tickled something in my brain of, like, what I remembered, but I don't exactly remember.
One other difference after her identity got exposed was that she and JB got into a big fight because he's like, "You've been lying to me about everything. You told me your name was blah blah blah." Yeah, and then he basically she they like built this relationship, but she was lying to him about most of the details in her life,
Everything.
except for a few. And so then they got into a fight over that.
Okay, I feel like that's probably what I was remembering because I was like, there was, like, other stuff that happened related to it, I thought,
Yeah.
or I could have just hallucinated it. I don't know.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Claude, like myself, hallucinate sometimes.
Um, okay, the other big difference in the book was that Margot's mom knew about Kenny calling CPS and was ultimately the one that told Margot that it was them, versus like
Oh,
she and Kenny
okay.
got into a huge fight about it at the end of this series, which I was like, "Oh, are they kind of
Yeah,
teasing that she and Kenny are gonna like get divorced or something and then she'll get back with Jinx?" I feel like they showed a lot more chemistry between her and Jinx in the
they did.
show versus the book.
Yeah, yeah. Which, like, sure, you have Nick Offerman and you have Michelle Pfeiffer on the same set, like, have at it. But at the same time, I'm like, in the book, they, like, barely, I think, interacted all of that much before he, like, went on the road and then she found out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, occasionally Jinx would drop by with, like, a toy or something for Margo, and, like, that was it. So I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay."
Yeah. Oh, another thing about Jinx, this is just show related. Um, okay, so what we saw for his introduction to the show was that you see him at this rehab center. You're like, "Who the heck is this person?" You know, obviously we knew who he was, but people who hadn't read the book are like, "Who is this person?" Blah blah blah. Then he gets a call, and then while he's at this diner, and then he sees all of Margot's texts, and then decides to go to her. And then he shows up at her door and she's like, "Dad." And then the episode ends. I wish they did not reveal that he was her dad before that moment. How sick would that have been if you're like, who is this person? How is he related to the story? Like, who is this random pro wrestler who's in rehab? And then he shows up at her door and it's her dad. And they like almost set it up that way, but they ruined it by showing the text thread.
They could have omitted that, made it more of a surprise. I Okay. again, I had a great time watching the show. I think they wasted Nick Offerman. I think he could have gotten so much more screen time. They could have developed that relationship a bit more. Because after a certain point, it was just him hanging out with Bodhi and showing that he's like, such a good grandfather. But he's Jinx. Like, they would show clips of like that Susie was watching on TV. But I'm like, you could, I don't know. I felt like they could have done more with him on as a character on the show because he's Nick
Yeah,
Offerman.
totally. Yeah, I feel like we got so much Michelle Pfeiffer and we got so little Nick Offerman in relation. Like obviously he was there, but like I think they could have shown a lot more.
I also feel like the Vegas episode where they go for like Kenny and Cheyenne's wedding. I felt like that could have been condensed like a little bit and given like more screen time to some of the other stuff we talked about. So like that one, I was like, this whole episode was just them in Vegas. And I felt like I just wanted a little bit more. Or like less of that kind of story. Cause I feel like we don't see Kenny all that much in the book.
No.
And I feel like Kenny
He's
also
barely
got a good amount of
Yeah.
good amount of screen time. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like in the book, it was a lot of Margo, Susie, and Jinx at the apartment. Like, it was a lot of them. And in the show, it was just a little bit more balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Vegas episode, I mean, that wedding, Vegas, that never happened in the book.
Yeah. It was just that they got married, right? It wasn't even like part
Yeah.
of. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can't even remember if Margo went to the wedding.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been
Yeah.
over a year, but um yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess they were trying to show that it's like Cheyenne is tying herself to this man who like doesn't really know her and like she's so afraid that if he finds out the truth about her that it'll like confirm her worst fears about not being worth or like, I think that ties back to like the whole idea of like Margo doing OnlyFans like no man will want you sort of thing. Like I think Cheyenne has always had this idea that she has never been like worth like that kind of love. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't deserve that kind of love and that's why she like puts up this front. So, I thought they did a good job with her character, just like lots of nuance. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was like the Vegas one felt like a lot and I don't yeah. There was other stuff they could have shown in my opinion.
Yeah. Although there was one hilarious moment in the Vegas episode where Margo and Jinx are checking into their hotel room and the receptionist is like, "Oh, do you want one king or two queens?" And Jinx is like, "Two queens, you fucking psycho."
My daughter, you fucking psycho. Like if we had more of that,
Yeah, I wanted more of that.
I wanted more of that because that felt very on brand for Jinx.
So funny. It's so funny. Uh all right. So this show is an A24 production. I did
Oh,
not realize that until kind of late into watching it, but I was reading an article where they interview Ruthie Thorpe about her decision to sell the rights to A24. And so it said the project eventually landed with David E. Kelley and A24, and despite her intentions to give them total creative freedom, she found herself particularly moved by an early conversation with Kelley and the rest of the writers' room. They asked, "What are you afraid we'll do?" recalls Thorpe, and I said, "I'm afraid you'll forget about the baby." Working with baby actors is so hard, and it's easy to just stick the baby somewhere and not remember that that's part of what is changing her and where she is finding empowerment. They really took that to heart, and I cannot believe the performance they got out of those babies. So I thought that was really sweet and like a really valid concern because obviously the show, all of the characters are driven. It's like a very character driven show, and it would be so easy to just kind of like throw the baby to the side, even though the baby's presence is really what sets off this entire story. So, I'm
yeah.
glad you said that so that they made a special effort to include the baby because I agree. I think the baby was the baby was so cute, and I guess they used multiple babies,
That was
but
the cutest baby.
cutest
The
baby.
final, like,
Truly.
scene at the court with the judge, I was just like, they found the most roundest dumpling of a baby. But also, like, I don't know, I feel like I have, like, baby age blindness. How much time do you think has passed? Like, how old is Bodhi, and how much time has all of this taken? Like, a couple of
Okay.
months?
Yapper parents, let us know if any of this is accurate. I was imagining the baby was, like, between 6 months to a year, like, kind of out
Okay.
of extreme infancy, but still definitely baby, not toddler. That's what I was.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Because I feel like that's where I was sorta landing, but I was like, maybe he's 3 months, maybe he's
Yeah,
9. I
who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Not
Yeah, that's
me.
what I was thinking. It also seemed like, you know, the they'd reached some stability in terms of, like, how to take care of Bodhi, and I feel like that must take, at least 6 months.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
time. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
realize it was 824 though, because when I hear 824, I hear, like, some real weird fucked up shit. Like,
right.
824 gets real strange
Yeah,
real
I think
fast.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think Beef. I think these, like, out there shows, and movies. So, it was surprising to me. I guess
Wasn't Saltburn 824?
Oh, yes. Yes, it was. Yeah. So,
Oh,
basically, just,
okay.
like, extreme, extreme weirdness is how I can describe it.
Does 824 do Euphoria? It is, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I would say colors of Margo's Got Money Troubles, just like the coloring of the production design was very reminiscent of Euphoria at times. There was a lot of dark lighting, but, like, lots of, like, pinks and blues and purples and stuff, especially in
Yeah,
her, TikToks with the other 2 girls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was funny because it's like we simultaneously had Euphoria and we had Margo's Got Money Troubles, 2 shows where some of the main characters are involved in, like, OnlyFans and portrayed, like, very, very, very differently. So, I thought that was pretty
Interesting.
funny.
I have not been watching the newest season of Euphoria. I've heard
Uh,
interesting things about it. Are you enjoying it?
ye Yes, I am enjoying it. I do think that they're doing a disservice to the show by not having Labyrinth do the music because the feel of it is just a little different.
Mm.
But that being said, I am really enjoying it. It's a little different than the people who are complaining about, like, it's, like, gratuitous stuff, and I'm like, "This show has always been this way." Like, if you go back to season 1, even in season 2, I'm like, it's so much that, like, it's only because it's been, like, 3 or 4 years since season 2, and everyone has collectively forgotten how fucking weird this show is.
So, going back to A24, I guess, are there any other A24-y things that you noticed about this show? Because I was trying to think, and I don't think I really picked up on much.
I mean, I feel like A24 kind of always has, like, a little bit of, like, a darker kind of vibe. This almost felt a little bit, like, Ted Lasso-y in just, like, how, like, bright and, like, hopeful of a tone that it sets. So I didn't, like, I would not peg this, like, if I had to guess without knowing that it's A24, like, who did it, I would never land on A24.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like Apple TV it's a very Apple TV show, like you said, kinda like Ted
Yes.
Lasso, where they just really toe the line between humorous and heartfelt in this perfect
Yeah.
way. So, I think it fit
Yeah.
into Apple TV's portfolio really well, but I agree, I was like, "A24?" I mean, because what else has A24 done? Let's see.
Did A24 do Begonia? Co-produced by A24, collaborator RA *square peg. So A24 adjacent, because Begonia was also just like weird as fuck.
Interesting. Okay. A24 did Lady Bird, Hereditary. I'm just listing the ones
If
I've
I
heard
had
of.
legs, I'd kick you. Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
that's right. Did you see that one?
I did. That was
That movie
crazy.
was crazy. That was a very A24 movie.
That was a very A24 move for sure.
Oh, Midsommar. That was A24.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, The
Did A
Farewell with
Farewell?
Aquafina. Did you see that movie?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Okay. Oh, that was so sweet. I did not know that was
Did
A24.
oh yeah, A24 did Uncut Gems. Yeah.
Yep.
And Eternity. Wow. A lot.
Eternity. Wow.
Yeah,
Eternity
I
is one
wasn't
of
expecting
those
that.
heartfelt, funny things that I wouldn't have expected from A24. Okay, so I guess they have quite
Oh,
the spectrum.
A24 did The Whale.
Oh. Dude, they've done everything. Huh.
Uncut Gems.
Uncle Joms. Heretic.
Remember when
Earlier when I
Heretic?
said heretic. Oh, that okay. Yeah, when I said hereditary 2 minutes ago, I was thinking of this movie, Heretic.
Okay.
I was like, wasn't that
Hereditary.
movie about Mormons? Okay, got it.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Hereditaries.
Okay, so I guess A24 does have quite a spectrum of
Quite a
shows, and
yeah.
the ones that are most iconic and like most quintessentially A24 feeling are the weird ones, but there's yeah, like I feel like The Farewell fits in very well with Margo's Got Money Troubles. Like
Yeah.
familial, heartfelt, yeah.
I mean, I think it's nice that they as a studio are like, let's sit down with the author and like talk things through with them. Cause I feel like a lot of times it's like they'll purchase the rights and then you find out after that, the author is like, I had no involvement, they changed so many things, blah 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 blah. So
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me of The Shining, which is like one of the most famous horror movies of all time. But Stephen King really hated the movie adaptation of the book, and it's
really?
so different. Now that I've read the book, it is so, so, so different. And he hated it so much that he like made his own TV show or something. But like it was kind of a bad show, so it never really picked up in popularity, but it was more true to the book.
Oh, interesting. That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I remember you reading The Shining and saying that it was very different. Was that the one that gave you nightmares?
Yes. Like, consistently.
I will not be reading that then.
Our friend Jackie said that she couldn't read it after 12 p.m. Like, any
Noon?
afternoon reading would result in nightmares, and I was like, "Oh, how bad could it be?" But then I would read it before bed and, like, consistently have scary dreams.
Oh, I like how noon cutoff for The Shining and noon cutoff for my caffeine intake is hilarious. She could do like 2 p.m. Jackie, why couldn't you do 2? The sun is still out. Comment
Mm-mm,
below.
mm-mm. We know you're listening.
Yeah, we know you're listening. We know this for a fact. Too funny.
Should we rate?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Okay. Quality out of 5, enjoyment out of 5. What would you give this show?
Oh man, enjoyment definitely a 5 because I just love the story. I love the characters. I think quality, I think they did a really good job. So I'm gonna say like 4 or 5. Maybe I'll do 4 just because we talked about a lot of the stuff that we like kind of miss from the book. So yeah, I'll say yeah, 9 for me.
Nice. All right. I will also give quality 5 because, as I've said on the show before, I rate a 5 when I'm like itching to watch the next episode, and I definitely
Mm,
was for this show. And
true.
maybe that like inherently gives Apple TV shows a leg up because they only release one episode at a time, so I'm like always waiting for the next episode. But whatever. Yeah. I'll give it a 5 for quality. And then enjoyment, I think I'll give it a 4 as well. Like, it was super fun, super enjoyable, but obviously there were some things that I feel like they missed from the book, like we discussed. So yeah, I'll give it a 4 as well.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody listening who hasn't read the book, I think it's like a very enjoyable show. So don't let that deter you.
Yeah. Such a fun show with a stacked cast.
So stacked. When they first had like the trailer for the show come out, I was like, no fucking way. They got all of these people. I was not expecting it to be like star-studded, you know? Like usually when they like adapt a book like this, I don't know. It's a book that I don't feel like many people have heard of or enough people have heard of in my opinion. So I thought it was going to be like a little bit more indie, like lesser known, but no.
Yeah,
I got some heavyweights.
totally. I mean, I had never heard of it until you told me to read it like 2 months ago.
Yeah. And the only reason I heard of it is because it was like on the book of the month sometime last year. And I was like, these other books don't really sound as interesting. Let me just go with this one and see what it's about. And then I ended up loving it. So random.
All right, Rufy Thorpe. Love that. Okay, great. Well, our last segment is binge in progress. So, Poonim, what have you been binging lately?
Girl, what haven't I been binging? Michael and I have been binging the newest season of Hacks, which I'm so sad that's coming to a close. It is like such a like witty, like such a good quality show. Like for me, that's like 5 quality, 5 enjoyment, perfect, no
Wow.
notes show. Um, we've also been watching Euphoria, which is always a wild ride. I've been watching Palm Royale on Apple TV,
That's
which
the
is the
Kristen
Kristen
Wiig
Wiig
show,
show.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's so like the word that comes to mind is like kooky, but she's so good at playing like this like kooky character, and it's the storylines are all over the place and there's like intrigue and drama, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And then trying to think of what else. Maybe that's it for now. Oh,
Survivor
Shalini.
finale.
Oh yes, I watched the Survivor finale, which I have thoughts about.
Okay, share your high level thoughts with me.
High level thoughts out of the finalist. I am glad that the person who won. I don't know if any people aren't caught up, so I don't want to spoil anything. I do think that Jeff fucked up big time in like spoiling.
Big
I felt
time.
so bad, but yes, that was a pretty big fuck up.
That
in my
was
opinion.
crazy.
And I think that there's like one of the players who made it to the final 3 being like super bitter on the internet after the fact.
Yes.
I'm just like it was always going to come to a jury vote. Like, what are you being salty for?
I know.
That being said, I'm not as steeped in the lore as you are, so you probably have way more opinions that I want to hear.
No, I mean those are it's pretty aligned. Like I'm glad the winner is the one that won out of the 3. I was rooting for Okay, I guess we'll just say, I mean this podcast is, by definition full of spoilers. So, I'll just say I was rooting for Rizzo and Suri.
Yeah.
And then Suri got voted out, so I was like, all right, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby, let's go. And then he got voted out, man, the myth, the legend. And I was like, okay, I guess out of these 3 that are left, or he didn't get voted out, I guess he just lost to fire. But then out of the 3 that were left, I was like, okay, if Jonathan wins, this is truly Trump's America. You know what I mean?
So true.
It's so true, but yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy that Aubrey won. Very happy. I'm a little lit. I'm very happy that Aubrey won, and I thought she really deserved it. I thought she did a phenomenal job at Final Tribal, and the way she told her narrative was so good. So anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with the ending. Even though none of my top people, I was rooting for Rizzo. I was also rooting for Tiff, so I'm sad that
I was
she
rooting
also
for
didn't
Tiff.
make it.
I was rooting for Tiff, and I felt similarly frustrated to her. And then, like, afterwards, when she was just like, when I was having a conversation with Jonathan and he basically told me that it needs to be me because I'm a girl, I was like, of course Jonathan would say something like that. So
Yeah.
I wanted Suri and Ozzy. And then once
Yeah.
Ozzy was voted out, I was like, that's it. That alliance is gone. Like, Suri's gonna be next. Rizzo, like, unless Rizzo somehow, So
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like the challenge that Jonathan won to be
Mm-hmm.
able to cast
Switch
votes
between
for
the
both.
tribes. Yeah.
I thought that was incredibly powerful compared to like all of the other advantages that like winners would get. Like that felt so OP to me.
I totally agree. I 100% agree. And I just hate that we're entering this new open era, as they say, where they're just like changing the rules in the middle of the game, which from being in the same fantasy football league, I hate changing the rules in the middle of the game. I don't like it. We need to wait until next season to talk about it. So I just don't like having the players like not know what's coming because that really affects strategy. And then when you introduce new stuff, it's like their strategy just plays a less important role in the game and it's more to do with chance. So yeah, I'm not
Exactly.
in
Like
favor.
the whole Mr. Beast thing only worked because he did it successfully. Like he didn't get
Yeah,
like that's the
totally.
only reason it worked. Otherwise it would have been like, okay, well that was a flop, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I just what grinds my gears is that challenge that Jonathan won just gave him like a significantly higher amount of power than like any of the other challenges that we
Yes.
saw.
Yeah,
Like the normal
seriously.
ones, block a vote or like cast an extra vote, or like whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Anyways.
I have one more binge.
Oh, yes, yes,
Oh
yes. What
yes,
else have you been
I have
watching?
I have one more binge in progress that I think you'll really like. You might have already seen it. I don't know. It's on Netflix. There's only one season because they never renewed it, which is sad. But it's called Bodkin, and
Yes,
it's
I've watched it. I
okay. All
watched
right.
it.
The entire time I was watching, I was like, Shalini would love this.
I have watched it. I loved it. And in fact, last night at my giant family dinner, I was like, does anyone have a recommendation for an Irish procedural? And everyone was like, that is so specific. But I was really, really craving an Irish procedural show. Grant you, like, I watched Bodkin a year ago, probably. I
Yeah,
don't even remember when
yeah.
I watched it, but yeah. I was just really
That's
craving
so
it.
funny. I was like, I need a show to watch while I like Peloton. And it like came across my page and I was just like, oh, this sounds fun. Very like Department Q vibes. Cattle.
Cattle.
So I like started
Hyperbaric
watching and I was
chambers.
like, hyperbaric chamber. God. Anyways, I'm glad you watched it, but I was just like, I have to tell Shalini because I feel like
Yeah,
this is exactly up her alley.
it is so up my alley. Yappers, if you haven't seen it, the premise is that this podcaster played by, oh my gosh, what's his name? He's
It's
everywhere
like
these
Will
days.
Forte.
Yeah, Will Forte. Yeah, so the main character is Will Forte. He's a like famous American podcaster. He comes to this very remote town in Ireland to podcast on this like old case, this like old missing persons case in this remote town in Ireland from like 15 years ago or something.
I think
Um
more like 20, because, like,
20 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like that.
And so it's kind of a procedural but also kind of a comedy because he's so funny and it's just so good.
They're all just such characters.
It
I
really made me want to go to Ireland and drink a Guinness. Like it really I wanted to be there.
would recommend. It's pretty great.
Take me.
All right, let's go. What are you doing later? The night is young.
It's only 7 p.m.
I'm saying.
Long weekend.
I'm just saying.
Aside from Survivor, which I've also been binging, and other stuff that I've mentioned on this podcast already, I super binged. It's a show called Love Story, but the subtitle is John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. So basically it's like it's the show about JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette's love story. And I know I messaged our friend group about this and none of you had heard of it or watched it. So yeah, watched that show. I knew absolutely nothing about this couple, and so it was really fun to see just, yeah, kind of the origins of their story, the timeline of their relationship and like what happened. But I have read that it's not super accurate. I think everything
Mm,
that's shown publicly, like the photo shoots and stuff, are accurate, but like obviously who knows what actually happened behind closed doors. So
right.
it's not like extremely accurate, but I loved it and I loved the music in it, and I've been listening to the
Oh, okay.
soundtrack all week, and it's so good. And the woman that plays Carolyn, Sarah Pigeon, is so beautiful, and the man that plays JFK Jr., oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'd heard of it because I think Prestige Podcast had
Mm,
covered it. They would do like episodes like 1 to 3, 3 to 5 or something.
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, like what is this show about?" And then you messaged about it and I was like, "Oh, maybe I should watch it."
Oh, yeah, it's really good. Okay, his name is Paul Anthony Kelly. Anyway, I highly recommend it, Yappers, if you are looking for a show that's like kind of tied to history. I mean, there are definitely things that were accurate, but apparently the character of Jackie Kennedy and the character of Caroline Kennedy, which is JFK Jr.'s sister, are not super accurate in how they're portrayed, but Paul Anthony Kelly looks exactly like JFK Jr., and Carolyn Bessette is played by Sarah Pigeon, and she just like really embodies this character, and it's just like really well done. It's a really well done show. So I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very New
Okay.
York, so like there are a lot of connections to New York. Like she lived in East Village when they met, and like there's a lot of like East Village stuff, and then I think his apartment was in Tribeca, and so they show a lot of New York. So any New York yappers, I think you'll really like it too.
New York City.
New York City, baby.
I hear New York City and I think of What We Do in the Shadows, and that's just my vocal stim
When you said
nowadays.
that, I thought of Saltale Casiti.
Salt Lake City at Nalta, city of palindromes. I feel like we could keep going, but we shouldn't.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's wrap this up. What else have I been binging? I restarted watching Nashville with Connie Britton and Hayden Panettiere.
Okay.
And it's just such a vibe. I'm really enjoying watching it back. I watched it for the first time, I think in like 2017, 2018, which is already like old because I think the show came out in 2013 or something.
Wait, can I add one more binge that's like a little bit off the
Yes,
wall?
please.
So stupid. It's called Chad Powers, and it's got Glenn Powell, and he plays like a disgraced like football player because he's kind of an asshole, and so he goes undercover as Chad Powers with like like stupidest prosthetics. Like think like white chicks level of prosthetics.
Oh my god.
It's so dumb, Shalini. But the number of times Michael and I have like burst out laughing from this show is so stupid. I am obsessed. It's also funny because each of the episodes is like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, fifth quarter, sixth quarter, seventh quarter. It's so
I love
dumb.
it. Okay, that's
Anyways,
fun.
if
What
you're looking,
platform is that on?
I think that's on Hulu. If
Okay.
you're looking for like a dumb laugh and you care enough about football to like not be totally like you don't need to know
Yeah.
football, but
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
Okay, great. All right, maybe I'll check it out. I've also been hearing about this show Off Campus. Have you heard of this?
Okay, I have heard of this. TikTok is going crazy.
Yeah.
Is this the new like heated rivalry? Like do we need to get
Sounds
in on
like
this?
it. I feel like we do.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've
Okay.
heard about it like 3 times in the last 2 days, so I feel like I need to watch this.
Okay, half of my For You page is this off campus, and I'm just like, okay, I'll give it a shot.
All right, let's go. All right, yappers,
Let's
you
do
might
it.
hear about the show in our next episode. We'll see.
We'll see.
Don't hold us to anything. All right. Well, okay.
I think we did it.
Let
us know if you noticed anything unusual about the last 15 minutes of this episode.
There may
Let us
have
know in the
been
comments.
a day change, an outfit change, and also an inebriation level change. So
try to point it out.
Yeah. Identify the transition. All right. Well, Poonim, thank you so much for joining, as always. Always great to have you on the show. And Yappers, comment on the episode if you have anything to share with us about Margo's Got Money Troubles or any of the other shows we mentioned. We love chatting with y'all. All right.
Yay.
Bye. Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!